Hi, and welcome to our R&D tax credit video series. I'm Pippa James, and today I'm joined by John Davis from our corporate tax team, and we're going to be talking about the process for claiming R&D and how it works. So John, can you tell us a bit more about the process and how it does work?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of our process, what we like to do is meet with clients, partner with them, work collaboratively. And what I mean by that is we want to get to know the business, understand what it's about, where their trials and tribulations are, where they're having to innovate to move forward, what new products they're bringing to the market, what processes they've got that they're having challenges with, that sort of thing. And then from there, we go into a bit of a deep dive with the people who are hands-on doing R&D. Ideally, we get a bit of airtime with them, ask them what keeps them awake at night, what is challenging, what difficulties they're having to overcome, what area of sort of science and technology that they're working in, and where their efforts to innovate in the business are. So that then gives us, based on our experience, to have a deeper, more intensive look at what sort of thing they've been up to and go into the detail and hone in on those activities that are qualifying R&D for R&D tax credit purposes. We can then take those discussions forward with somebody in the finance team and try and attach the associated costs to those staff costs or the subcontractors they've used or the materials that have gone into the prototypes they've built, that sort of thing, in order to help curate the claim and put the costs together.
That sounds really good. And the collaboration helps to build efficiencies into the process as well.
It really does. And frankly, we love working that way because we get to understand a bit about the business. They get to understand a bit about the process. It just really works quite well. It's not death by spreadsheet and lots of questions and going backwards and forwards on phone calls. You know, there is a bit of that to just get the detail right towards the end of it. But ultimately, it helps us build our report that will go to HMRC. We then pass that back to the client for them to review and approve that before it gets submitted to HMRC.
And it's exciting to hear about the cool projects people have been working on as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the most exciting bit of tax. Some of my colleagues, I'm sure, will disagree with me, but you know, I enjoy it. Understanding, you know, what it is that makes other businesses tick is great.
So when can somebody start making an R&D claim?
So R&D claims are retrospective. So generally speaking, you can't submit an R&D tax credit claim until you've got your accounts and tax return complete, because you're going to put that R&D claim in the tax return in order to make the claim. But we can be working in parallel with that process. And in any event, you can look back 2 years. So really, it's as soon as you're ready. And part of our process is, by having that dialogue with people who are hands-on doing R&D, we can then give them the tools they need to be able to make notes in real time for the stuff they're actively working on now. So the future claims are easier, and you can then pick out the associated costs because you've had the similar conversation with somebody in finance. And so you're capturing that data live in order to be able to put a claim together more easily going forwards, and you're not scratching your head, what did I do 12 months ago or 24 months ago, as might be the case.
So would you suggest record keeping, perhaps keeping like a bullet pointed list?
Just a diary or something like that. You know, it's the what was difficult. And once you've gone through the process of understanding what goes into an R&D claim, that bit then sort of comes to life for everybody on both sides. In terms of, we've got a good understanding of what the innovation in that business might be, and they've got a good idea of what it takes to qualify for R&D tax credits. So
yeah, it makes sense. So how long does the process usually take from start to finish?
It usually takes us sort of 2-3 weeks to put a good claim together, and then HMRC will take usually 4 to 6 weeks to process a claim, and if there's a refund or a tax credit at the end of it, repay that tax credit. Now, having said that, some claims we do are retrospective. You look back 2 years, so we can move as quickly as the client needs to in order to make sure that we capture that claim and get it in good time.
And do you find some variances with HMRC processing times?
There can be, yes, there can be. It's not necessarily a consistent process from one claim to the other, but by and large, I'd say sort of 80-90% of the claims are turned around in that timescale for SMEs in that 4 to 6 week window. But they're, you know, we are seeing a bit more scrutiny from HMRC. They've massively increased their resource, so they are looking at more, which just again underlines the importance of getting good advice along the way and making sure your claim is robust. at that, at the point it goes in.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks to John for talking us through the R&D process. If you want to check out more videos, take a look at our YouTube. Thank you.